You're listening to the Fear in the Southwest podcast. I'm Drew.
And I'm Stephanie.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode
9.
This is Season 3, right?
Yes, this is Season 3.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, Episode 9.
Episode 9. Here we are.
Yeah, a little bit of a hiatus there.
Sorry, guys. Life has kind of thrown a few obstacles at us, and it's been a little hard to get behind the microphone.
Yeah, October wasn't the best, and I live for October, so.
Yeah, October's our month, and it's like, no.
Yeah, every answer to October was
no.
No.
Can we do this?
No.
Halloween.
It wasn't that bad. It was good.
Maybe.
We had a couple trick-or-treaters.
21.
Yeah.
Well, at least it wasn't 22.
Oh, my goodness.
Just in case you know, Stef has a thing with number 22.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I was born on the 22nd
Of?
January.
Your birthday's coming.
I know it is. But
Y'all better throw her a party.
I was also born at 7/22.
Yeah, this girl on 22.
The room I was in was 122. And, you know, when you see 22, you usually think, oh, that's going to be my lucky number. For some reason, when I see a bunch of 22s, it's usually an indication.
Major life changes.
Major life changes that you have no control over. It's like my Friday the 13th, which is kind of weird because
Today's Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th. November,
Friday the 13th, 2020.
I think that's why I didn't go anywhere today.
I was at work today, so.
I
You know,
indoors.
You know what's weird? I think my job, I'm going to get better at this job because I have to talk all freaking day long now. Anyways. So, yes, we've had a hiatus. But we did something really cool in October.
Yeah, we did.
Really cool. I think it was the highlight of the whole month.
I think it was too. It was pretty awesome.
And we've been dying to share it on the podcast.
Yes, definitely.
You might have seen some snippets on our Facebook about our adventure, but now we get to talk about it.
Yeah.
You've probably seen those creepy pictures.
Yeah, and if you haven't yet, please check out our Facebook.
Yes, please like, subscribe, share, everything.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool photos from our little adventure here.
It was a pretty fun adventure.
It was.
Especially for us paranormal fans.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone's familiar with Tucson, especially downtown, they're probably familiar with the Fox Theater. Mm-hmm. Downtown is predominantly haunted, as it is, as the area. But Fox Theater is pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Especially in the dark.
It's in the all darkness.
Yes, so we got to go to on a ghost tour. They called it a ghost tour, okay, with the Tucson Ghost Company.
Yeah, Tucson Ghost Company. They do ghost tours every week. You know, check them out, see what they're offering. It's worth it. It
was definitely an awesome experience. One, Fox Theater by itself is beautiful.
Yes,
it's a gorgeous theater, and I haven't been in there before. That was my first time in there.
Yeah.
So we had a really grasping experience. And I went in there thinking that it's just going to be a tour. They're going to talk about some stuff. Maybe, here's a flashlight and we're going to talk about creepy things. No. They go in there for maybe it was a 20-minute tour showing you around where you can go, which turns out pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, we had access to a lot of the building. A lot of, anything that you can think of, we had access to.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It was cool. So they go around 20 minutes. They give you an EMF detector and a flashlight. Mm-hmm. They kind of go over the bare minimum basics of paranormal investigating. Kind of what to expect and why to expect. Debunking and not necessarily going right into everything. She would call out noises on the street.
Yeah.
They were very accurate when it comes to true paranormal investigating. I could just see that from their behaviors and their consistency.
Yes.
Which is something that's very important in our field. Because a lot of people will just, that was a ghost. They automatically assume it's a ghost. Mm-hmm. They don't take the time and debunk it. So we go on this tour. They check us out, each EMF detector and a flashlight. Now, what's also cool about this is they gave out 2 different types of EMF detectors. They did the same thing, but they're 2 different companies. So that kind of helps with the debunking and
Yeah,
like the
definitely.
validating. Like it's not just device freaking out or hey, if my device is reading it, your device is reading it. Okay, cool. There's two different devices picking up similar readings. So we go and they turn out the lights.
Yeah.
We started in the VIP room.
Yeah, we did.
And
this
right
is
off the
like
bat.
the bottom of the Fox Theater. This is the bottom portion of the theater. It's dark. It had an eerie feeling. It was very retro-y downstairs, and she goes over a few basic instructions, what to expect. She's even said where some of the sightings have been, so if people want to go with their EMF detectors there first, they can and everything. And so as soon as lights were out, we were all in our little groups, and it was pretty interesting though. Like you could feel a lot of energy even before the lights turned off. There was just certain portions of that theater you could just feel a lot.
Yeah, there was definitely energy there, and there was like a few areas we couldn't go. But I like how they left the flashlights in that room too.
Yeah, they left flashlights.
Sometimes they get played with, and sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. I don't think they got played with the time when we were there.
No, they didn't.
But that room, there is a picture on the Facebook of that room. And it's a very eerie picture.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the way I shot it, the angle of it, but it was creepy. It was weird. It belongs in a ghost book, even though there may not be definitive ghost in that picture, but it was creepy. And we started our little, our group.
Yeah.
Stayed in there. We started our personal investigation because that's kind of what it was. Once the lights went out, we had free roam of
everything. Backstage, the stage itself, the aisles.
Dressing rooms, the green room.
Pretty much their break rooms, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
In that theater we had access to. And the really cool thing that I learned there, that I thought was really interesting, and for those of you who like to go on these types of adventures and ghost tours and stuff, is if you're feeling an energy and you take a picture, you should take at least 3 pictures. Mm-hmm. Because what they explained to us is if it is an energy, it'll probably only show up in one picture.
Yeah.
If it's something, maybe lighting, maybe your camera or something like that, you would see it in all pictures.
Yeah. Don't mind the dogs. They're alerting us to someone walking their dogs.
Yeah.
They do that. Yeah. But yeah. We walked around with the EMF detectors. And then there's another fun fact that you may not know about theaters is they have a ghost light.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Which is basically this little dangled floodlight, workshop light on a stand that sits on the center of the stage, and it's left on for the ghost. So there's always a light in the show. It's also symbolized the show must go on.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I thought that was neat. I think there's a picture of that in one of our photos, if not a couple of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started in the VIP room. Steph sits down at this bench next to a tree, and right off the bat, her device starts lighting up.
Yeah, it started going crazy. And I noticed in the tree there was like a string of white lights, like Christmas lights. So at first I was like, oh, I must be reading the electricity from here. But then I noticed that it wasn't even plugged in. And that's when I was, really looking around, like, is there something else around here that it's going? But it started beeping right away and flashing.
What was weird about it is, it waited until everybody left the room.
Yeah. Like, it didn't do it while the whole group was there. It's like, it waited. But, the creepiest thing about that room is that there was 2 sets of staircases on the left side and on the right side.
Yeah.
And at one point when we decided to move on through the tour, go to the stage and everything, walking up the steps, I had chills, and I could just feel like something was watching or right behind me, like my hairs were standing up. And, of course the lights are out. It's a haunted tour, so you're going to think stuff like that. But I think out of the entire building, out of the entire theater, that was the room I felt the most. And, the cool thing about this tour is when we started off, she gave us a brief history about the theater itself. And, you know, this theater's been around for a long, long time. Now, well, because of COVID, unfortunately, it's not being used at all. But, you know, pre-COVID, this is where we still have some concerts. They show old movies and, you know, sing-alongs and stuff like that. So there's just, you know, there's just a lot of stuff that goes through it. But, like, through the 1990s, you know, that theater wasn't used at all.
Yeah,
It was vacant.
It's gone through some hard times.
Yeah.
And right now, this ghost tour is kind of holding its footing a little bit.
Yeah, because they told us it hasn't been utilized since February.
It's sad.
It is sad.
It's a beautiful theater. It is,
and you know you can have events there, holiday parties, weddings, stuff like that. But the cool part is we got to be on stage. And that's a rare thing to be on stage at the Fox Theater.
Yeah, the Fox Theater, to be behind stage, on stage, looking at the perspective like a performer would see. Basically, wherever a performer would be, we've been. Which was it's a really cool perspective. Like, you see the audience, you see the tiers, you see the balcony, you see the lighting room. Speaking of the lighting room, you guys need to check out some of the pictures. We're going to post a close-up.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't post it with the last post because we want to see what you guys can see in the pictures. But there is one particular one that when me and Stef zoomed out the pic, like started analyzing our photos, this one or few photos stood out on my camera roll that I was like, what is that? Wait, what is that? Mm-hmm. Zoomed in, like I had to zoom in a lot because where I took the picture from. But I'm not going to spoil it on the podcast. I'm going to say it's creepy. I think both our hairs stood up on our neck and our arms when we saw the picture. Is that true?
Yeah.
I think we both kind of got creeped out. Like, you don't realize in the moment what you catch.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And sometimes, you know, when you're in the moment, you're like, you're not going to stop and like analyze photos. And I literally, we studied it using my television.
Yeah.
I literally blew up the phone from my phone and like airplayed it to my TV where I could really zoom in like every detail, like especially crevices and like areas that were like hard to see. And that's when we found it.
Yeah.
Look at the window, the spotlight windows, guys. I'm gonna give you that much of a hint. And we'll be right back. So yeah, we're back. Maybe we'll throw the ad there. So yeah, look at if you're looking from, it's basically coming from the stage. The picture is from the stage perspective, looking at the window rooms or the lighting room, the control room, whatever they called it. And look in that area, okay? We're going to post the result picture after we release the podcast. And then you guys can, comment all you want, what you guys think it is, and, what your opinions and thoughts are on it. But yeah, so we're on stage. And that picture, mind you, was taken before the lights went out.
Yeah, it was.
That is the weird part about it. And, I still want to talk about what I think it is. Because, just the vibe that I get from that picture reminds me of, you guys look for the picture. It'll speak for itself, okay? So then we're on the stage. Lights are out, okay? We wander around the stage. They had a REM device there. Yeah,
they did.
A REM pod, which is cool to see one in person.
Do you want to tell people what that is?
REM pod is basically a stationary EMF detector, okay? It doesn't move around like the ones in our hands. It's got like a wire coming out of it. It's like round. It's got lights. So anytime something crosses that wire or comes near it, like if you were to put your hand around it, it starts lighting up and shit. It looks like an arcade game, really.
Yeah, it does.
Looks like something someone had ADHD would be like, ooh.
There was someone playing with it, though. Yeah, no, and during our group, twice. There was someone playing with it.
I did it once, too.
Did you?
I totally did. I was like, woo, that's cool. It lights up, Yeah. But it was right by the Ghost Light. It was on the organ stand, actually.
Yeah.
There was a big organ on the stage.
Yeah.
Gorgeous organ. Man, that was a nice organ. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking like a heart. I'm talking the instrument, guys.
Yeah.
So then we decided to wander down into I called it the dungeon. I thought it was weird.
You did call it the dungeon, yeah.
I'm like, the dungeon. So the dressing room is literally downstairs, basically below the stage, like below stage level. And like we go in the green room. Now, if you don't know what the green room is like the VIP, like the start, like the headliner. That's like their hangout room. Okay, that's where they're gonna have beer, snacks, whatever. That's their little get together room. Mm-hmm. So we go in there. And what are the reports of what they say happens in that room? You don't remember? It was the hair twist, like people getting their hair pulled.
Yeah, people were talking about getting their hair pulled or someone playing with their hair and stuff like that.
So we sit in that couch.
Yeah.
And we sit there, and we sit there. I think I got one creepy photo out of that, and I don't think anything happened.
Yeah.
The one comment I had, though, was like, guys, this is Arizona, and the headliner, and there's no air conditioning in here. Mm-hmm. What? There's an empty refrigerator, too. Wow. I felt so VIP. Anyway, it was a cool room. I always imagined those rooms would be bigger, though.
Well, you have to think about when the Fox Theater was built and what it was used for and stuff at the time, Fox Theater didn't always show movies. It actually held live plays and, you had your live audience and your actors and everything. And one of the cool things about that is some of the people who do perform on stage, because like I said, they still have concerts, they have little things there, events, have reported that while they're on stage, they will see people in like early 1900s clothing walking down the aisles or walking through. And one of the creepiest things there was, we were in the lobby and everything, and this woman came up to Drew, her boyfriend wasn't really into the tour.
Oh, God, no.
She was super
The boyfriend
excited,
had the look of, like,
but
help
the
me.
boyfriend did not want anything to do. So she kind of wanted to tag along or just, I think she wanted, what you said, validation.
Validation, because her boyfriend was clearly like, help me, I want to go home, I want to play my Xbox, and be left the fuck alone. I'm sorry for that lady, because she was into it, and she's like, she comes up to me, and she's like, dude, hey, go check out the handicap chairs on the side. My device is going crazy. But I went to the other side, and it wasn't doing anything, and she's all excited. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Someone else is excited. So we run down the room, and we can't run.
Yeah.
But we go down there all quickly, and and sure enough, our devices are all of ours. So hers, Steph's, mine. Everyone's lighting up in this area.
Yeah.
Everyone.
The creepy part is, so my mom's really into the supernatural and
your
everything.
mom too.
And my mom was there with us. But the creepiest part is my device did not calm down. My device went crazy. It kind of calmed down a little bit. When it calms down, it beeps at a slower pace. When it's really active, it beeps at a high pace, okay? So we're walking, all right? We're walking, and there's this... all the chairs are up, theater seating, the chairs go down when you're trying to sit on them, and then they come up once you get up from the seat. My mom and I find the seat that's down, out of all the seats there, every other seat is up. This seat was down. Mm-hmm. And that area got the most readings for my detector. It was just going nuts. It was beeping so fast. It was flashing everywhere. Mm-hmm. And around this time, this is when they were going to call it quits with the tour. It was ending. We had to do the EMF. They were going to do it. Yeah, but she's rounding everyone up. She's rounding everyone up to, come back in so we can listen to the footage. And I was going to, because Drew went somewhere else. I don't remember where you went. But when I tried to get you to come back, that chair was up.
Yeah.
It
I remember
went
you and
from
your mom
down
like,
to
God,
up.
the chair.
And I even asked my mom, I was like, did you play with it? Did you do something to it? And she said no. And we couldn't, it went up by itself. We didn't see it go down. We didn't see it go up, but it did it by itself. And my detector went nonstop.
The funny thing about her detectors,
the whole thing.
They gather everyone in the theater, and we're going to do an EMF, digital voice recording. We're going to do a a session. I forget what they call them, but it's like a. I'm having a blank right now.
That's okay.
Basically, a digital recording session. You know, you're like, hi, you know, is anyone here? And like the digital recorder. So she's running her digital recorder because we don't have that. So we all gather in the theater. We're in the seats. Meanwhile, during the whole session, her device is
yeah, and it's still dark. Up. Lights are still out. By
everyone can see her thing is lit up. Mine's not lighting up. Just hers.
Yeah.
Nobody else's. Because what happens when they were dealing with the chair thing, I was with the other girl, like, with the other hand, like, nothing. Okay, that's weird. And I come back, and they're, like, waking out over this chair, and I'm like, oh, God, I missed, like, the best part of the whole thing, because I was over here studying not cool chairs, just, like, regular chairs. But here's the where it gets weird. This is where we talk about attachments. Because the moment she gives me her device, we switch, it stopped.
Yeah. That was the crazy part. It just stopped. We didn't push the button, nothing. You know, it's a big button right in the middle. You have to push it with some force, and I handed it straight to him, and it just stopped the moment he took it.
Weird.
It was really weird. It was a very eerie feeling. And I remember, like I said, the very first room that we were in, that VIP room, you just felt that heaviness there. Like I said, even before the lights were turned on, before the tour, I could just, there was just something about that room itself. And going upstairs, going into the auditorium and having that session and my device not calming down, I left there with an eerie feeling.
Yeah, same.
Walking and then back to the car downtown.
In the dark.
It was late at night. You know, downtown's usually pretty popping for Tucson because of all the college students, but because of COVID and everything, it was just dead. Ghost town. Just dead.
Well, people were out with a group of kids on bikes and scooters.
Yeah.
Illegally running through the streets. But we're not going to, welcome to Tucson.
But I just remember walking to the car and I felt different.
Yeah.
I felt different.
I want to say this was a life-changing, perspective, experience. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's, life-changing, in, getting married or, big life events like that. But it was still very thought-provoking and changing in that aspect. Mm-hmm. It leaves you left with a different feeling than you went in with.
Definitely.
For one. Then we go home and we sleep, right? We don't look at the pictures right off the bat.
No.
We wait a couple days. And then I'm like, okay, let's look at the pictures. Once again, once you start really looking through the pictures, we got the goosebumps, the hair standing up. I mean, yeah. I'm thinking about right now.
My hairs are standing up just
thinking about when we first saw the photos and we're like, you don't realize.
Because there's just weird. At one point, we were in the auditorium, different seats, sitting kind of away from each other, and our backs are turned to the entrance, but you could feel such a, you're being watched, you're being stared at. And so right away you think, oh, it's another group. There's another group behind us. And then you're kind of looking around. There's nobody else in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were a small group, for COVID reasons,
Well, it's only max of 15 people entirely.
Yeah, and including, I think we had 8 people.
Yeah. And Tucson Ghost Company did phenomenal. Yeah. That's a great, they know their stuff.
Yeah.
They do it right. And they're very knowledgeable and they're very passionate about it, which is cool because some people take it the wrong approach. But that aspect is cool. Fox Theater was a beautiful theater with lights on, and it was beautiful in a way with the lights off.
Yeah.
It left you going, chilled, changed, different perspective.
What's really cool is backstage, every performer, everyone who's performed there, who's visited there, they signed their name on the wall.
Yeah,
so the walls are
cool.
just covered in writing and names and people
signatures.
have drawn pictures and stuff, which is kind of cool because sometimes some of those pictures were hit with the light when we did take pictures and stuff.
Yeah,
it came out kind of creepier looking.
Yeah, in the dark it's totally different. Yeah. Some of the angles you're like, what is that? It's creepy, but walking through there, it's really cool. You see, You'll see like band members giving band members crap on the wall, like writing on it. You look at the band, like the performer bathroom, it says "Don't stress" and life's too short to stress. I'm like, that's funny. Like
the one I saw was Weird Al.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Eric Church, Free Country Fans out there. Yeah, I saw his name on the wall. There's a bunch.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this theater is at the because it's a 2-story auditorium, the top portion of the auditorium had its own seating for John Wayne when he came to town and wanted to view any of his premieres or any kind of movie or something like that.
Yeah, he had his own seat.
He had his own seating and
we
stuff.
We sat in that seat.
Yeah.
I sat in that seat.
That was pretty awesome.
Did you sit in the seat?
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
Your mom did.
Did she?
Yeah, I took a picture of her in the seat.
Huh. I think that's when I was like trying to go into.
You were zoned out. Okay. That's one thing about this place.
Oh yeah.
Invested. She got like, I want to say like she got partially attached to something because she zoned out. Like she just wandered. Like we're supposed to stay in your pods. And she just wandered off.
You know what's okay? Now that you're talking about me zoning out, so I talked about the VIP room, how we spent the most time there in the beginning. After we did the whole auditorium thing. You know where I migrated to? By myself, the VIP room.
Yeah, you went right back there.
Yeah, you guys were in the lobby. I was talking to people, and I was just drawn to go back into the VIP room, and there was nobody down there. And the creepiest thing, like I said, was coming up the stairs, but going down the stairs too. It's like something was waiting for me, like I was going down there. Like you could just feel the energy.
It drew you in. That's for sure.
But the weird thing is, like I said, walking to the car, I still felt this heaviness. And, it's starting to cool off here at night especially. And that was one of the first cooler nights and everything. But I still felt this heaviness. And I actually became very ill that night. And it wasn't immediately. I think I went to bed like 1 a.m, because, the tour ended like 10:30. And around 3:30, 4 o'clock, I woke up ill. Like I was so sick. That. And it lasted most of the next day.
Yeah, and it was sudden, out of the blue. Like she woke up sick. Like it wasn't like she went to bed not feeling well. She woke up sick. And some of her symptoms are very consistent with attachments.
Yeah, and zoned out feeling, achiness, stomach problems, headache, and it was just overwhelming. And I had eaten everything everyone else ate. I hadn't really, we're all in the same place and everything. And I was like the only one who got this overwhelming like feeling and sickness.
Think about it. I think you're the only one that had the device that went crazy.
And it just...
I don't think anyone else wandered off. The only reason that girl wandered off and came to us is because her boyfriend was like,
being in the dark, knowing that you should stay with your group. I'm not really one... I don't know. I can
You're
be
a rebel.
Independent. I can be independent, maybe wander off a little bit, but...
There's a word for that. Rebel.
I just remember, like, through the whole tour... I wanted to go back into that room. I don't know what it was about that room. So...
You were drawn to that room, and for some reason, the stage was very drawing to me, but that's because I'm also a performer. So, like, the stage was very much, like, my calling place. Like, it was a really cool perspective to see, like, what the artist would see. And I was hoping to get a glance at, like, somebody coming down the audience and, like... 1900 clothes. I would have been like, I probably would have like crapped myself. I mean, holy crap, like that's fucking cool. You don't belong here, dude. But you do, but you don't.
But that's another thing. People said sometimes they'd hear voices. They'd be doing rehearsals, or a cleaning crew would hear voices and people talking about like a show.
They've even heard people like preparing for a show in the control room, and that's kind of what I was implying. But I'm not going to get any more details in that photo, guys. You'll have to check that out on Facebook.
Definitely check them out. Whether it's the lighting, whether it's the angle we took the picture. Some of those pictures are creepy, and then you think, oh my God, I was right there, and what came out in our picture.
Yeah, I was looking right at it. Apparently, it was looking right at us. Ooh, a little bit of a spoiler there, but okay. You know, that was the Fox Theater ghost tour, guys.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Like,
And-
how do you feel after going through our first paranormal, basically, investigation together?
That was pretty awesome. I think it was good. We both, we go in there with an open mind. Of course, we're always going to be, skeptical about something.
You got to go in as a skeptic.
Yes, because it's an old building. There's draft changes, like you feel warm in some areas and then really cold in other areas, but that's because of how the building is built and the rooms
There was one specific one that had me going.
That one bathroom.
Because your mom felt it.
Freezing.
It messed with her ears.
Yeah.
I remember feeling the back of my neck. It was like a sudden, like, it was cold right here. And then the moment you step away and back into the audience from the walkway, it was like gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like that channel.
I think we were the second group to enter the building for our time because they do them in different time slots. They do one in the early evening and then they do one in the late evening. And we were the late evening group. And so when we went in there, we're there waiting. We're in the lobby and they tell us that, the EMF readers might be able to get our cell phone detection. So they asked us to put our phones on airplane mode or to shut them off. And shortly after we did that and we were going to start the tour, my mother's phone just went insane.
It went nuts. It was like
literally
screaming.
was screaming. It was like screaming.
For like 5 minutes. The lady's trying to give us the briefing and her phone. I'm like, and then I had to like speak. I'm like, the phone's setting the mood, guys.
Yeah, right. And like my mom, she couldn't shut it off. I couldn't figure out how to shut it off because I don't have a phone like that. But it was just going crazy, it did set the mood a little bit of like, that was creepy. But it was literally a scream. It was kind of.
It was.
I don't know what kind of alert was going on there, but that's terrifying.
Weird. Yeah, that was a hell of a way to get the tour started, right?
And everyone's just looking at us, and
we're
I'm
like, just set the mood.
I was like trying to shut it off.
Throw
it's
it.
Scary.
Smash it. Do something with it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
don't smash your phones, please.
Don't smash your phones. No. I'm kidding. It was quite the experience because you guys, you gotta imagine, like, it's very quiet. Like, the downtown isn't booming and like noisy with people. We're in a theater that's like predominantly it's empty. Okay, it's an empty, open theater, and there's only like a group of 10 of us listening to one lady talk, and all of a sudden, you're like,
and it was,
what the?
It was echoing, and it was just terrible.
Gosh,
It was funny.
That was a hell of a way to start.
It was.